here's the situation for me at this time. There's 2.8 billion people that are online in 2014. That number grows, by all forecasts, another billion to 3.8 billion. Let's round it off to 4 billion by the year 2017. Now we're at half the world's population. And then we take on top of that, if you will, 200 billion connected devices by the year 2020. And connected devices, I'm going to go into a little bit more the concept of the Internet of Everything and the Internet of Things. But what we know is there's no shortage of data or capability for analyzing data of our customers. And what we know is every single day we have lots and lots more data coming from either transactional systems, our ERP systems, data-driven, coming onto the website or doing some type of a transaction with you, this third-party data that we're all familiar with, increasing this social insight that we're gathering from a variety of different public and private sites. So no shortage of data, and therefore no shortage of data analytic opportunities. And there's some very good tools that are available today. I'm going to share with you very briefly a couple of case studies, two of our customers. Most companies are at a point in their kind of understanding of digital marketing where they are using these tools. One of them is Zumba Fitness. I'll just a quick show of hands. How many are Zumba dancers, please? Okay. I'm a little surprised. It should be a little higher than that, but okay. I want you to check it out. So there's 14 million Zumba dancers around the world that have a real affinity towards this type of exercise and enjoyment. But there's also dozens, tens of thousands of Zumba instructors. And the question back about a year and a half ago was, do we really understand who is our instructor? Because they are the channel to the Zumba dancer. And how much do we know about the instructors? Are all instructors the same? Can an instructor do the Zumba for the youth? Can the Zumba instructor also do Zumba Gold for the older generation? How much did we know? And so what we did is we looked at these tens of thousands of Zumba instructors. We began to cluster the data. And then what we did for segmentation purposes, and then we went out and interviewed hundreds of these instructors around the globe to find out what was their experience working with Zumba and also working with their students. We put it all together, if you will, in a data model where we segmented the Zumba instructor base, and from there we then began to look at customer journeys that were unique to the clusters that we came up with. And today that's all being used for digital marketing, unique marketing to unique customers. Again, nothing new about this, but for Zumba it was very important in their kind of life cycle of learning to be data-driven or insight, greater insight from the customer. Kraft is a very different story. That's Kraft Food Service. That's the B2B side of Kraft. They're the folks that deliver all of the goodies to restaurants, to hotels, to parks and prisons and interior cafeterias in your company, etc. So the challenge they had there is they had a player called Cisco, and now it's Cisco and US Food Service that have joined. This is a behemoth in the industry. And the problem was the Kraft was trying to sell its macaroni and cheese while Cisco and US Food was trying to sell a white branded macaroni and cheese, because you at the restaurant wouldn't necessarily know, is that Kraft that I'm eating or is that Cisco? And Cisco could make a better margin on the Cisco product than they could the Kraft product. So the thinking was, this was a couple of years ago now, as we sat around in Glenview, Illinois, we need to understand the customers better. They're called operators in this industry. They own the restaurants, and there's a million of them. And Kraft has targeted about 120,000 as the ones that they really want to go after. And the question again was, what do we really know about that end customer or the operator? So using third-party data sources like CHD in that particular industry, using transaction information that Kraft had about the customer, and then we went out again and did about 300 interviews across the United States in this particular case, got a deeper insight into what was the potential, or how much of a particular category, a food service category, was the operator purchasing. We'll take, pasta, for example. We looked at what we sold to them now. We looked at what they said was their current sales. We had to confirm that through third party. And we wanted to know would they buy more from us if we were to do things better. And long story short, we got a profile of our best customers. We overlaid that against our existing customers, and we began to understand customer potential. And what it led to was a list of customers that we were calling on that maybe shouldn't have been called on, and customers that weren't being called on that should be called on. And we began to use that data, if you will, to reorganize what's called the sales or trip listings in Kraft. So those are two examples.